What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my review for Season 3, Episode 2 of Black Lightning on the CW. And if you have not seen it yet, please come back because there will be spoilers. First and foremost, allow me to say I am sorry that Episode 1's review was not up. I had some issues with my new camera. So I have this new beautiful 2K HD camera. Thank you to one of my lovely fans who helped out and support with that. I appreciate you so much. And I'm trying to get used to it. So normally I have a full lighting setup to deal with my other camera that I was using. And clearly the lights were too strong for the frame rate. So it was what you were getting with that flickering. And I didn't want to just do an audio version like I had to do with Titans. So I was trying to get everything together and make everything work out. So hopefully this is the better situation. Secondly, I know last season, past 2 seasons, I've been doing these reviews with either Ashley Victoria Robinson or both Ashley and Jason Inman. Well, Jason is working on a new show and Ashley is super busy, so unfortunately it's just going to be me unless I get a chance to bring along somebody else, like maybe Winston and Marshall or whoever else, but we shall see. But I have no problem myself coming back for y'all and reviewing a show that I completely love and adore in Black Lightning. Episode 1 was coming out the gate swinging, and Episode 2 we still see what I believe is the ASA facility. It is seemingly the pit because all of the things that happen in the same place, but it's not the pit, it's the upper level of the pit. But you see Miriam and you find out that her condition is deteriorating. She's getting sick about a moment and it's really, really bad. And you find out later on in the episode that she's been losing her hair, her fingertips have been falling off, and her eyes even bleed. And that's just very sad. And I think it's one of the effects from being the pod kids out of the pods, not being stabilized anymore, and being one of the green light babies. So that's kind of crazy. You also see that Lala's back. Now, we saw at the end of episode 1, Lala was still alive, of course, because Lala can't die. But you see Lala in a hotel room, and he has the briefcase with the MOD briefcase. And he's in the room with 3 dudes, and like, yo, we finna make this happen. He's looked like he's getting his gang back together. But you'll go into that a little bit later when you find out those aren't gang members. Those are 3 dudes he killed because, of course, they go back into the tattoos on his neck when he tries to re-recruit the 100. Now, something that we see later, too, is people are starting to learn about Lala being a meta because if you saw him talk to the 100 earlier. I'm not going to go in exact order with the show. I can't. It's just too much stuff to go around bits and pieces. When he was talking to the 100, they brought up Sinzel, and they was like, yo, he a whole beast in these streets. And Lala saw the 100 out here hustling all bread and crackers to the people of Freeland. Like, yo, it's, first and foremost, that is sad to see, but it is kind of something that would really happen in situations like that. It is its own version of a dystopian society in the hood when the city's been locked down on martial law. Now, a lot of people say it's going to happen in a lot of cities. A lot of people have constantly had conspiracy theories about how that was going to happen. Most notably, in my hometown of Chicago, everybody's like, yo, the government finna enact no martial law. They're about to do it. Yeah, every 6 weeks we hear that, and they're not about to do it. But to show what it would look like, in a sense, if martial law was enacted in a town, that is kind of what you're getting. You see people would literally try to profit off anything they possibly could, and that is terrifying. But, as I was saying, they talk about Sinzel, and then Lala sees the 100 dudes, the 100 doing that, and Sinzel just come up out the car, and Lala like, yo, you owe me money. And dude just let 4 of them off in Lala and 1 in the head. And while he does that, he was like, dude went hard, was like, yo, y'all thought I was going to let him talk like that? It was going to be like that? And he sees Lala come back to life. And that is the crazy thing. Like, you see him pull a Wolverine. You see him make the bullets leave his chest, and you slowly see the holes close. And he just stalks dude, and dude just take off running. At that point, all the homeboys just splits their leads back to the 100. Like, what else can you do? Like, look, I understand there's levels and things, but if I'm a street nigga, right, and I'm out here on the block, I'm putting in that work, I'm gang banging, we probably done committed a couple of murders, I feel like I'm a hardcore thug, I'm about this life, I'm in these streets, and then I see the dude who was in these streets come back, and I'm like, man, you ain't got nobody but yourself, and then I see him get popped off and come back, I'm like, hi, old dude, you are my lord, I worship you now, and I feel like I should tithe to you, because I don't need to see what happens. I can't get mad. Can't make you mad because you going to kill me. Can't kill you. You going to come back to life. One of the things we also see is the the usage and the talk and the discussion around the media in this episode. We saw it beginning in episode 1 with Clapback News with Jamila Johnson, I believe was her name, and she was getting it in with Anissa in a previous episode, which I wish y'all could have seen my review on that, because I was like, get it, Anissa, because Anissa was like, yo, we finna do this, and old girl was like, well, I don't know, and Anissa basically like, just shut the hell up and let's get this on. But nonetheless, you find out again, like I said, the ASA has put Freeland under martial law. And not only are they controlling the media, allowing what's going out and coming in, they're controlling it. And so you have people who are doing the, for lack of a better word, conspiracy theory blog sites, the alternative sources. So you have the Clapback News with Jamila Johnson, but you also have this dude, Truth Teller, who brings on Nichelle Payne, and that is Khalil Payne's mom. And Gambia is watching this like, yo, can you at least discuss a voice to protect her? And in the process of that, Agent Odell and Commander Williams, which again, I didn't get a chance to tell y'all in the first episode, I love the fact that it's Braxton P. Hartnebrig. Yes, Braxton P. Hartnebrig from the Jamie Foxx show, Christopher B. Duncan playing Commander Williams. Also, if y'all ain't never seen the movie Original Gangsters, you got to check that out, because like, you see him be a thug. Like, word, you can be tough. You can be in like, I'm here, homebroski, and then you can be a thug. Like, all right, I appreciate it. But you see that. One of the things you also see is how Commander Williams has an interaction with Jefferson Pierce, because Jefferson and Lynn are trying to have privacy, and Williams busts in their suite at the time, and dude was like, yo, Jefferson's like, yo, man, give me some privacy, and then he goes back and forth, and Williams tells him, you know what I'm saying, I mean what I say, meta, and Jefferson was like, yo, why does it sound like a curse word when you said that to me? Because if you listen to the way it was done, it wasn't even a swear word. Let's just keep it real. Now, I know a lot of my fans may not be black. You might be of other, races and cultures. That literally was him saying, and I mean what I say, nigga or nigger. That's literally how he said that. And I like the writer's choices for the way they delivered it. Because, again, this season we're talking about kids in cages. Children separated from their families. We're talking about the government taking rulership. Taking rule, not just governing, but taking rule into a dictatorship. And you see all of this happening, and you see the language, and Black Lightning has never shied away from using language, but also never shied away from societal issues, like I said before. So to do this was a really crazy thing. We see that the Markovians are officially making their way into Freeland. They have Colonel Yuri Mosin from there. They're on Wolfbane Mountain. So, like, the Markovians are there. It's, we've been talking about it. We saw a little bit in the previous episode. Was like what the hell was dude's name on his list? Because I made sure I didn't delete it. Because Cyclotronic. Like, dude was there. But, like, we're seeing more of the Markovians there. Now, here's another part I want to talk about. Anissa being Blackbird is getting better by the moment. Now, I'm going to do this kind of like a blending of episode 1 and 2. Because in episode 1, first of all, we get to see Anissa has her own apartment, which is dope, and she has her own little lair, and she has her own version of Alexa, which is called Shonda, which I'm for this. I'm for it. Also, we see the homie Nafisa Williams, who is one of my homies, rock the hell out of some negligee. You better go get it with your thick chocolate beautiful self, queen. You better do what you do, girl. But you see Anissa as Blackbird, helping to transport the metas out of Freeland, and she does it through the Purdy farm. Now, remember the Purdys from season 1, where the twins were born and everything, with Looker and all those, and the Sanjay. But it's to a point where the Purdy, like, yo, this is getting overwhelming. You said you were going to have a certain amount, but this is too much for us. And Anissa even just gets a little bit extra violent with Anaya's dad. And it's really like, yo, I get you're trying to help, but your Blackbird persona is even more... It's more aggressive than a normal vigilante. Like, you're more harmful than helpful, because she even gets to the point where she threatens him. And it's like, yo, why do you threaten the people who you need? And I get you have the abilities, you have the powers, but you need them. You're just one person. You're just one hero. And granted, you can do some things on your own, but you can't do everything on your own. Now, we also see her having to go into a run-in with a bunch of Markovians who come and try to sneak up on the Purdy farm thanks to Gambi, which is so dope she does it. Now, I will say I like the fight sequences. I think some of them could have been a little bit better. Some of the fight choreography could have been a little bit tighter, but also knowing how many times you shoot something to get that one shot, and if that was the best they went for, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of rough. But yeah, you see her beat up the Markovians. Now, when we finally see Painkiller, we see him back. We see Jordan back, Jordan Calloway, aka Khalil Payne, back, and we see him being, he has a brain chip, he has a spinal implant, and he has all this knowledge put inside of him now. He is brainwashed by the ASA, and they send him on his first target, and his first target is his own mom. And even Commander Williams is looking at Agent Odell like, yo, bro, you think this is cool? Like, if it's anything that'll stop a mind wipe, it's a man seeing he got to murder his own mama. Like, yo, we ain't tested this? And Odell's like, that's the test. That is how you know when you talk about government, sometimes how crazy they can be. That is prime proof right there. And that is sadistic because he actually does go to his mom's house. His mother opens the door. She's like, oh my God, oh my Jesus, my baby was brought back to me. And she's like, you don't know me? He's like, I don't need to know you. And he proceeds to choke and poison her to death. Kills his own mom. Now, I think that's going to be the caveat for when eventually he breaks this mind wipe and he snaps out of it. And he, eventually turns against the ASA, Agent Odell, and all of them. So we already know what's going to be the jump off point when he realizes they made you kill your mother. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Jennifer's trying to be calm and cool and deal with all this. First, Agent Odell show up in the crib. She's like, what you doing here? And then when she gets back to school, everything is going awry because, again, we find out there's a wall around Freeland. We see the electrical wall, but there's a wall around Freeland where Freeland is just excluded from the world now. And everything is going into shambles. It's almost like the inmates are trying to run the asylum, where Jennifer sees a couple of students fighting. And she's like, yo, just because they got us caged up like animals don't mean we got to act like them. And one of the students say, shut up, you next, bitch. And then I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. And they run up on her. She tell them, like, yo, this ain't a problem. You won't. Like, you think at first, like, oh, shit, she can use her abilities and then you'll expose herself to the school. But she instead proceeds to whoop those two dudes' ass. Again, where it comes in with the fight choreography. China Anne McClain, my birthday twin, my homegirl, I'm so proud of everything she's got going on. I know she wanted to be more involved in the action. I want them to tighten those fights up. If we're going to see these in broad daylight, it's easier to mask certain shit in the nighttime. But when you're in the daylight, certain things are open. And I know the level of punches that are fake, and I know the kicks that are fake. And I can say that being a pro wrestler. Yes, we know. But sometimes I hit people for real. Look, that's what I do in the ring. Neither here nor there. But there's times you can see the punches don't connect. And I know you're trying to make the cuts quick enough that where you don't see it. But in some situations, you do. So again, I think I'll just give it to the rest of the season. And then the better, step that up and get that tempo going on that. But to see her, handle her own. And all right, so this is what we're going to do. This is what we got to do. But at one point when she was fighting the dudes, she started to have a flare-up. And this shows you that she can still get that power growing, but she now knows how to control it a bit because she could have actually just let it go and fried everybody in that room, but she didn't. So that's pretty much the overall of the episode. I think we've got a lot going. Again, we've got the whole situation with the kids in cages from the ASA and the Markovians, and then everything leading up to Crisis. It's going to be very interesting how all this plays out. And you're seeing also with Lynn and Jefferson being locked up in a sense, it's putting a strain on their relationship because, Jefferson wants to do one thing one way. He's been a leader of everything. Lynn's like, yo, I'm my own person. I know what I'm doing. And again, that marriage is a partnership and it's not a team in a sense. It's not I'm a sidekick to you. So we're going to see how all this plays out throughout the entire season. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. I say that to say the least. But if I had to give this episode a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I give it a 4. And the reason being is the fight choreography things that kind of got to me because I wanted that to be tighter. And I understand you're trying to shoot things in a better lighting, see more action happen. But you have to have that tighter. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I love where the story is going. I love what they're trying to do. There's not just an A, B, and C plot. There's an A, B, C, and a D plot. And you have to keep up with all of them while not getting them all mixed up and convoluted. You know what I'm saying? I love what they do. So we know that. But I try to give them the benefit of the doubt if I see some things I feel like that aren't on par. But I also want them to make things better as they can be. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm trying to find out as much as I can about this season. but I know my sources on the inside ain't telling me much, because every time I hit up one of my sources, they're like, I cannot confirm nor deny. And I'm like, you are horrible. You're so horrible. But yeah, let me know if you've seen this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Are you still rocking with Black Lightning through season 3? Or are you just rocking with it, waiting to see what happens through Crisis? And then afterwards, let me know your thoughts, alright? Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Join the Super Villain Squad on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I just threw up my interview I did with WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler and Headlock Comics creator Michael Kingston. I'm going to put some more stuff up there for y'all very, very soon, alright? And make sure you check out the Mad Titan podcast. This is where I get you caught up on everything that's happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds, so come on in the convo, alright? I'll holler at y'all later. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.